Quick disclaimer, everyone, this is a 21-year-old and up channel, so if you're not 21, please leave the channel now. Appreciate it. Man, we are looking at day 27, I believe, of flower. And what I really want to show you, though, is the pond. Look how crystal clear that water is now. That's what we're talking about. We added in that lactic acid bacteria yesterday, and 24 hours later, the pond is crystal clear. The creek is crystal clear. You do see some new algae growing. See that green pack of algae right there? That is what we're looking for. Hopefully, sooner than later, that string algae will come back and start stringing algae all through that creek. That string algae is what is actually creating oxygen and cleaning the creek. All we have to do is go in after it fills up and just remove the algae. But we don't have any algae to remove right now. So we're just in the waiting pattern. But the good news is that the brown grass seems to have stopped, and looks like we've got some new green grass down here. So I can get the camera right. You can see it's nice and green. You can see the yellow, but we did take a hit, you know, and if you're new to the channel, we fucked up. Not in a major way, but sort of kind of in a major way. What we did was that we reduced these lights here, these white light, blue and white. We added in, we lowered the white, increased the red. What I did is I increased the deep red too much, lowering the white, and in return I got the algae completely destroyed. We burnt up all the algae, all our photosynthetic bacteria, all our cyanobacteria, everything in the creek died. I mean, the light killed it all. Shrimp, algae, pretty much everything but the snails. Now, it wasn't the light that killed, you know, the snails and the shrimp and all that. It was the reaction that we got from the light. So the light kills off our algae. The algae was what was regulating the poo and the oxygen in the creek, along with the cyanobacteria and other things that I don't know anything about. But we basically cut the air off. And when we cut the air off, well, things die. Bad things happen when we don't have air. Oh, look at that shrimp. Did you see him? There he is right there. There's another one right there. There's two shrimp. That's excellent. That is what I want to see. I want to see those shrimp back up in here. We had hundreds of them in here, and they just all died because once we lost the oxygen, well, can't breathe. Nothing can breathe. Even the plants. It it starts off in the creek, and then it'll all transfer over into the soil, given enough time. So if we were to just let that keep going, all of this would die. Like we were on our way. You can see the droopy leaves. You can see how the leaves are kind of curling down. This comes from a lot of moisture in the soil. That is true. But what a lot of people are missing is that moisture can be there. Doesn't matter as long as there's air in it. If there's dissolved oxygen in that soil, if that oxygen is being wicked up from that oxygenated creek into the soil pockets, it will transfer through the biology and into the plants, and everything just gets super happy when everything can breathe. When it can't breathe, bad things happen. like what you see here. Now we had to do a reset. It's only been 2 days. You can see this is the top of the plant. So you can see how she's curling down. This comes from, you correct too much water in the soil. But what we're missing in that is oxygen. Doesn't matter, the roots can stay in water. Like hydroponics, aeroponics, I mean, all of these systems put roots directly in the water, right? They just have to oxygenate that water. And there's no soil there in that water, so therefore can't go anaerobic, can't turn into a swamp. But in a natural setting, you can get oxygen into that soil from the creek simply by that wicking action of the roots and the sand and the silt. Will pull that dissolved oxygen into the soil, allowing those roots to get that oxygen that they need. We could have probably hard pan up here. All of that is going to be wicked up in from the creek. So the creek and the pond pretty much run the show when it comes to watering, oxygenating the soil. A lot of different things are coming from that creek and the pond. All of that stems from the energy. Everything is based off energy. So power source, we screwed up the power source. We added in that far red, that deep red, and we shouldn't have done that. Plain and simple. What are you doing? How'd you get in here? How'd you get in here? We are still cooking over here. Look at what that stuff did to this empress here. That is crazy. I just set them in here to cover it up. It's been like 4 days since I put these in here. And normally it takes a long time for an empress tree leaf to do this. But being in this IMO where it's full of life, heat coming off of that. This is producing CO2 for us as well. I shouldn't be digging down in it right now, but I want to release some of that CO2. What it does is it gets kind of like a hard, like it crusts up together. Aggregates are being formed, but when it crusts over the top, I don't get that release of that CO2 that I want. So I just kind of releases that CO2 into the air, helps plants. It's probably the number one thing we can do in flower is push CO2. Carbon is what these plants eat. They like to eat the atmosphere. So the more CO2 we can get in the atmosphere, they will suck that stuff right on up, and that's what they're looking for. Right now you can see that we've got stressed leaves. This, I guarantee you, it's all based off of that oxygen, the air. Once we took that away, everything chain reacts, and everything starts just tink, 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 straight on down to the floor, basically. You can see we super cropped a little bit over there, just bending them over, getting them out of the light. But they are struggling to breathe right now, and hopefully, they recover. We've got the lab. We've got our buddy Mo from iGrow Soil sending us some purple non-sulfur bacteria. That is really going to help kickstart our pond and our soil, get everything running back the way it was. That's the biggest thing. We were running, a year and a half, and basically, we crushed a year and a half's worth of growing good bacteria and good biology in the creek in a matter of about a week. I mean, it does not take long. That far deep red, while I removed the cool white, cooked the cyanobacteria in the creek, cooked the algae, cooked everything. And that was a lesson learned. That will not happen again. But it also, I wouldn't change it for the world, because I learned so much in the last week. I mean, that's how I really learned a whole lot. I say we because most human beings, need to make a mistake in order for us to really understand the consequences of our actions. If there aren't any consequences to our actions like this, it's hard for us to see what we did wrong. And in this case, me not doing a lot of different things at once allows me to, like, say for instance, I remove the red and then I don't do anything for a couple of days, and then I start seeing things. Well, then I know that it was the red. But if I was to add red and then go add gypsum and then go add, compost and do all those things at once, and then I see problems, how do I know which is what did what? You don't. So it's very important to take our time in here and if we're going to do a change, we do it gradually, slowly over time. This way we can see what's happening, because nature takes time. And that's tacky. That's good. This plant has just been these slow. Look, everything in here has buds. Everything except for this. This one will not flower. I thought it was a male, but it's not a male. It just does not want to do it. Just does not want to flower at all. I don't know. It's crazy. Like this is the same as that, and this got some nice looking flowers. I mean, all the flowers look good. The leaves are stressed, but the flower does not look. It's not. We don't see any burnt tips. I'm not seeing any, yellowing in the flower and the pistils or in the. Anything on the inside. Everything looks good with the flower. We are only day 27, so we got 40 days left. I mean, we got probably double that. So they grew this much in 27 days. They're going to grow. The stretch is probably pretty much close to over, but the buds will just start to fill out, get bigger and bigger. We hope, anyway. We don't know how this whole crash is going to affect us. We really don't know. It's just basically a waiting game from here on out. Just gonna have to wait and see. I'm not gonna add anything. The only thing I've done is the lactic acid bacteria. I'm not gonna do anything else. Just gonna make sure that our environment is dialed in. Right now we're sitting at 78 degrees, 68% humidity. The VPD, when I looked at it, was like 1.17, 1.2, somewhere around there. We have reduced the humidity in here to 65, from 70 to 65. Our lights, PPFD at the top of the big girl over there is around 950. Everything else is around 650 to 750. But just with the cool white, because I know that everything likes the cool white. Like the algae loves it, everything loves it. When I start kicking in those reds, that's when everything goes to shit. Now I know the cannabis likes it, and I know, but they don't like it in heavy form. Like, so for next time I'll keep the cool blue and I'll just turn the red on maybe 10% for 10-15 minutes and then turn it off and give them that little boost. But other than that, we won't be, it's just too stressful for everything else. Not so much the cannabis, I don't really care, and the cannabis is here and gone. Everything else needs to be dialed in all the time. You know, we have to have our pond dialed in all the time, because if this goes and this goes, the creek goes, everything goes. Pretty crazy how it works, but that's the chain reaction that happens when nature takes, you know, just like anything. You know, you have a hurricane come through, everything changes. Tornado come through, everything changes. Weather systems come through and kill off your crop, boom, in an instant, overnight. Same thing can happen in here. We just try and prevent that. And if it's going to happen, it's going to be because of us and what we fuck up, which is fine because we get to learn. Today, we're going to go get some hooks. We're going to drill holes in the ceiling. And we got lights to hang. We're going to break out these Grandmasters. We're going to hang some lights. I hope today or tomorrow. I hope we get that done this weekend. I'm going to try. It feels really good, yeah. Nice and untacky. Oh yeah, she's nice, good. Yeah, real close. She's, if not already done. So we're probably good to put water in now. In fact, I know we're good to put water in now. So what we can do is just fill the creek up with water. We'll put the pump in. We can fill the pond up, or at least get it up to where the pump, we can turn the pump on. Turn the pump on and see the flow. So we may do that today or tomorrow as well, but we'll see how far we get. I got to cut some grass today. Got a lot of stuff to do today. So with that being said, we're gonna get out of here. What's up, Pooter? Glad to see everything has come back. And like I said, these plants are here and today, gone tomorrow. We're not really, you know, I don't want to lose. I hope they turn out great. But they're just a small batch out of many. The big project is keeping this system running. And hopefully we get back online. We get that oxygen going. We get that. And I know we will. Just going to take time. I don't know if it'll happen fast enough to save these girls, but we hope they will. Time will tell. So I hope everybody enjoys their Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.